This one's for the politicians. It's called GPS scatology. We have your coordinates and know precisely your destination. It is election time, and in the street are the plastic surgeons, posters of men in white uniforms and fixed grins flap in unison. This is a one-way street, and the U-turn invokes various penalties. Traffic proceeds at breakneck speed through the great arch of autocracy. By the pantheon of patriarchs, diseased birds slumber on the frozen plumes of bronze headgear. Mildew eating at ceremonial swords. Stay in lane. The great highway of charlatans is multi-lane, crowded at all hours, and will bring you invariably to Hypocrisy Monument, where all roads meet. One way, vendors swarm with incense sticks, crystal meth and dreams. Gold leaf to flatter a glowering idol at the revered corner of errors. A bottleneck, as many pilgrims buy merit from the four-faced God here. Dead slow, as beggars kneel in the road, abandoned to divine protection. Proceed by the grand palace of pointless purchases and slow down for heavy traffic at Narcissus Mall. Street of 6 names for your inferior. You must pass through the grovelling gate, temple of the abject loop. This is street of 6 titles for your superior, leading to the Institute of Impregnable Ignorance, graced with a royal charter. Take a right on the grand drive of distracting flags to the causeway of embalmed kings. Go forward to the mall of the eternal flame. At karaoke heaven, superlative banality may cause your ears to bleed. Accelerate away. Proceed. Traffic circles perpetually around the Academy of Harlots. Whores constantly renewed wind silk around the sacred trees. Disrobe and leave a Mekong to appease priapic spirits. You must ride through the emporium of envy and unsatisfied desires, bypass the chaotic terminus of transsexuals for denial drive. Speed on past guess what Buddhist theme park, en route for Meth Mall, where it is always rush hour. And a man at Jamaica Corner sells oblivion in small packs to foreigners who are ransomed by the tourist police. Near the fountain of corrupted thought, past beggar children, fishing for coins and fever in the catfish dark of drains. At last, you are near your destination. On the street of fortune tellers, here gamblers with their cards and severed fingers, taking pains to keep their faces white and uncompromised, play endlessly and disregard their loss. Your tinted windows let you pass unrecognized. This dusty cul-de-sac is yours. Abandoned lottery tickets blow across the nameless street, and withered reeds are strewn about some broken idol's feet. It is election time. New posters of the white and smiling uniforms wallpaper every space. This final cul-de-sac is yours. Self-hatred and the breath of street dogs foul upon your face. Vote now. The greatest play ever written by the greatest poet, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, features a faithful friend of Hamlet called Horatio. At the end of the play, with an enormous pile of corpses on stage in the tradition of the revenge tragedy, Horatio pays a final tribute to his friend with one of the greatest lines in English poetry: "The rest is silence." I shamelessly borrow something like that line in this poem. It's called Horatio Grows Old. Horatio would be about 411 today, I reckon. 1601 was the date of the first performance. Give me a time machine. Horatio grows old. This is getting more alone. When ghosts more real than people come to gather at your home. Habituation to the nag of old scars, breaks received and given. This is getting more alone. And all of those remembered faces, driven back on anecdote by scrum of years to stubbornness and stoic humour, creeping fear's old antidote. You recognise the future in their jawline and survivors' eyes. You're getting like them. Why disguise the fact you are no paragon or tragic hero? Denouement or mere anticlimax beckons in your final act. The fantasy of triumph fades. Drink your breakfast tea with Camus, and at dinner Dionysian wine with Nietzsche sets the tone. Heroic solitude and shades. You started out, grow daily more essentially alone. Lyric holds the elegiac future in a dark embrace, a tight affair, acknowledged by the wise. Affirmatively, here's alone. Laugh, paint your giant laughter. You escape in dancing smoke. The rest is lies. Thank you very much. Just one more, and I want to dedicate it to all the poets here. It's called The Company of Poets. You've heard a kind of clown dismissing poetry as rarefied and precious, not real life, till cut and sliced by love's exquisite and inexorable knife, he'll find the bottle comfortless enough and fumble in his misery for rhyme. Still craving for some vanished stuff of rapture, attempting to contain the heart's decline and learning there's no science that will capture or can resurrect passion. It's a sign that life will seek out rhythms, incantations, dreams to celebrate its stature and to wonder at itself. Each dances in his fashion to that driving score, it seems. But poets live the fuller, by their nature, beating time. And I'll seek out the company of poets. The company of poets, I'll make mine. When poetry has bitten you, you'll know it. It's just an arc of words, but in the overall design of things, there's everything in life laid out below it. From birth to love and death and celebration. And before the robot reaper can consign you to your headstone, you will ride imagination's launcher high above the milling cities. Be the process speaking for a time. So I'll seek out the company of poets. Company of poets, I'll make mine. They're taking passion's pulse and they're signalling the future. They've freedom for a mistress and they've history for a tutor. And they can image water into wine. Each new day is their holy book. And apparatchiks hate them for scoffing at all priesthoods while embracing the divine. So give to me a company of poets. A company of poets, I'll make mine. Those black flags of mourning, who better to fly them? The tender intrigues of the aspirant heart. That life-shaking love that you have for your children. How better to tell them? Where better to start? Where else but the company of poets? Whose alchemical pilgrimage sets them apart? Where else but the company of poets? Those ephemeral fires on the beacon lights, on the century's headlands, glowing, like poems or markers we leave to write our passage and our going. Bright seeds on the wind, that flower, despite the perennial cloud of unknowing. and they're sung by the company of poets, the indelible company of poets from Australia.